I think that you'll agree that there is one universally frustrating thing that we can all agree on, and that is if you lose something. What's the first thing you do when you lose something? Someone said freak out, so I appreciate that. What are some other things you do when you lose something? That was amazing because you all spoke at the same time, and I heard. So what do you do when you lose something? Look for it. Thank you. That's nice. That's it. That's all. Everyone. That's good. Thank you. Thank you for participating. That was it. So you just lose it. Do you, anyone other than freak out? Do you retrace your steps? Do you ask around people? Do you look at it? Do you ever do like a? Do you ever do like a little check for like the check for things? That's nice. So the Kellers who are sitting over here, we lose stuff, and we are very thrilled that something was invented for us, and those are air tags. So how many people have air tags? Air tags, or some guess? How many don't know what an air tag is? Great, an air tag is, it's an Apple product, but other people make it, and you can attach them to 1,000 things in your house, and they all connect on your phone, and when you can't find it, you just press the button, and it just blip, 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 it beeps somewhere, and it's really cool because you can walk around the house looking for it, because it tells you you're 4 feet, 3 feet, 2 feet, 1 foot, and then you're like, it's not there. I don't know where that is. And you're like, you walk back this way, and then you realize, oh, you're on the first floor, and it's on the second floor. And so that's why. And then you're like, oh, let's go down the stairs. And then you go down the stairs. Then you're like, oh, I found it. It's amazing. So the Torah portion actually is about this. When we lose something like your keys or your wallet or your sunglasses, if you lose your phone, how many people have gone back to your house to get your phone if you left it? Yes. Okay, thank you. So I feel like only 6 people are raising their hands. So it's the same 6 people. I don't know if other one's a little tired, or it's Friday. I don't know if you don't believe in phones, or I'm not sure. So yes. So you go back for your phone, and if you find something, if you lose something, by the way, my favorite thing to look for is with my phone flashlight. That's how I find stuff all the time. So great. So the Torah portion this week is all about this moment, actually. And the Torah portion is called Ki Tetzeh, and Ki Tetzeh means when you go out into the world. And it's kind of cool because it's one of those ordinary moments. The Torah sometimes gives us like these huge, big moments, and this one's kind of ordinary, and that means if you lose something. And the text actually says it. It's a mitzvah. It's actually one of the 613 in the Torah, and it says, if you see your fellow's ox or sheep gone astray, do not ignore it. You must take it back to your peer. So it says it in the Torah. So if you see your fellow's ox or sheep gone astray, do not ignore it. You must take it back to your peer. So, by the way, it has developed from ox and sheep, because anyone have sheep or ox? That one got a bigger laugh than the other one. Like the sheep and the ox were funnier, I guess, than the cell phone. So whatever. Maybe you guys, I don't know. It's fine. Okay, so the Torah continues. The same goes for a donkey, for a garment, and for really anything that someone loses. And the final instruction may eventually be the last thing, which is really a cool phrase in the text. So you should all look it up after when you leave here. It says lo tuchal lehit alem, which is maybe one of the coolest phrases in text, because it says you are not allowed to remain indifferent, which means it's my neighbor's goat. They'll figure it out. Or it's my neighbor's blah, blah, blah. How many times we walk by something and we think, it's not my problem. Like, it's not my issue. It's not my problem. But this is not what the text says. The text says, actually, go out of your way. It's actually even more difficult, because it says, if the person you don't like, you find their object, you're just as obligated as if someone you don't like. So if you find the neighbor that drives you crazy, and then you finally find object that's theirs, you're like, oh, God. You're still obligated to bring it back to them, because the text says so. The mitzvah actually has a name also. It's called Hashavat Avedah. That means finding a lost object. And the Jewish tradition takes it very seriously. And if the object has identifying marks on it, it's even more complicated because you have to bring it back. So now if you find a particular, like a wallet, for instance, you find a wallet, it probably has some kind of identifying mark on it, which is different than if you find a dollar. Let's say you find a dollar outside of, I don't know, who has a dollar today? I don't know. Someplace that has, let's say you find a dollar, and you pick up the dollar. What do you think you should do with it? Do you keep the dollar, or do you find the owner? You go to the dollar store. I got nothing else. Thank you very much. You go to the dollar store. So do you keep the dollar, or do you go find its owner? Depends where you are. Okay, maybe where you found it. Was it? Maybe how you found it. Okay. And so what if I hold up a dollar and I say, whose dollar is this? And you say, it's my dollar. I was like, can you identify it? Do you know the serial number of the dollar that you're carrying? So you also have to create this balance of trust, and this is where this idea expands and grows and grows and grows. And so, which raises the question, why does the Torah care so much about someone's stuff? Particularly someone else's stuff. Why is there an entire Torah portion? And by the way, the sentence is this big in the Torah, and it gets this big in the Mishnah, and it gets that big in the Talmud, and then it goes on and on and on. It goes on to say, like, identifying how you identify it. Don't identify it. Is it like in a certain stack? So that must be someone can identify it. Does it have someone's initials on it? What if you find like a diamond engagement ring on the ground? What do you do with that? Everyone got silent on that one. You're like, I put it in my pocket. No, of course not. But you have to do something about that because maybe there's an engraving. If the engraving, then maybe it helps you. But so you have to go out of your way to check these lost objects. And so I don't think that that mitzvah is really about stuff, though. I think it's about what we do as a community so I can trust you and you can trust me. A healthy community depends upon a basic assumption that what matters to you should also matter to me. So I have to presume that you might be upset losing something, and so I should go out of my way to look for it. This is why maybe you see on signposts it says like lost dog or something. Does it become your responsibility to look for the dog? Or to at least identify the dog? Some of you are nodding your heads. Some of you are losing consciousness. And some of you aren't responding at all. So if you're conscious, nod your head. It's going to be, it's really great. So if you lose something, and then this is the problematic moment that we have. There's also a fascinating concept, by the way, to add a layer to this. If we had more time, we'd talk about it. To the lost objects, and that layer is called Yeush. And Yeush means essentially despair, meaning at some point you realize it's gone, and you have to let go of the object. Because if you lose $50, it hurts a little more than the dollar. But you have to presume also if you're in a parking lot and there's no one else around you, and then you find a $50 bill, you have to think to yourself, they must be hurting a little for $50. But then what do you do with it? It's a complicated moment that we have to decide because it hurts more than the dollar, or it hurts more than the quarter, or it hurts more than something else like that, because maybe we don't feel the same connection, and so you have to also pretend and imagine someone else's feelings in this. This is what the text is talking about. Look at the time the text is giving us to discuss this. And so maybe communities and people and situations, you might also think that they may have Yeush also. Maybe we give up on things. Maybe we're just in despair in general. People can give up also. And so perhaps the Torah is teaching us that sacred community should just create the space for us. We return lost objects because we are practicing something bigger, the art of returning things to where they belong. Sometimes it's that wallet. Sometimes it's just trust. Sometimes it's the friendship. Sometimes it's the person who you need to stand up and think to themselves, I'm going to return this. I'm going to go out of my way to do this. So healthy communities are not just built on these little, on big things like I talked about, grandiose moments, but they're built on the small moments. So here's the idea, and my favorite part is that one initial part of the Torah portion that says you're not allowed to be indifferent. That's our responsibility. You're not allowed to be indifferent about any of this. Lo tuchal lehit'alem. And so don't look away, pick something up, return it, be present, do not remain indifferent. And in doing so, seemingly the small acts might actually turn into big acts. Even turning in a small object will find a way to strengthen our community. And so your job this week is to maybe be extra aware of what people might need around you and not just think to yourself, it's not my problem. Instead, follow what the text says and keep in mind that we are not allowed to remain indifferent. Shabbat Shalom.